Welcome back to Demon Slayer Anime Review episode number 14. This one I'm reviewing, excuse me, it is episode number 42 of the anime, Defeating an Upper Rank Demon. That's the name of this episode. And this episode is also the 9th episode of the Entertainment District arc. Excuse me. This episode covers from the manga chapters 90, 91, and the first 6 pages of chapter 92. You're thinking, not much per se when it comes to this arc, because usually they have like 3 chapters per episode. That's usually the case. Sometimes 2 or 3. This one just 2 in a portion. Most of it we have like just the 2 major battles going on here. Like first off we pick up where we left off last week where the male upper 6 basically hit with the kunai and worked for a bit until the poison wore off, and then eventually he of course continues battle with the Sound Hasha for quite a while. In the case of Inosuke and Zenitsu, they're battling the female demon, and they're basically battling her belt a lot of the time, and then eventually Inosuke gets the inspiration to basically decapitate her. And of course because Tanjiro mentioned her head is like, the skin is like very soft, it's very thick. So he uses swords, which basically got bits cut as saws, like zzz, and decapitates her, and then carries off her head. But before that, we do have a flashback of we have the Sound Hasha Uji where he's visiting his sibling's grave. It doesn't mention if this is all the siblings or in fact his brother, the one who's still left alive, if he's still around. I basically give him sake. Apparently, by the way, this is not the first anime I've seen basically where there's a grave and they put alcohol on the grave. They did this in One Piece. They did this in Rurouni Kenshin. I think it might be a Japanese tradition to do this for a grave where they dump like sake or some kind of alcohol on the grave itself. Excuse me. From American perspective, that would seem a bit disrespectful to dump anything on the grave itself, but it's probably something for the Japanese culture. So from our perspective, it just seems kind of weird, a bit disrespectful to the person who's passed away, just to do like they might think of like desecrating a grave, but really no. From when I don't think it is. I personally have not seen it done in real life, but this is probably a Japanese tradition to do this. And I'm thinking, like aside from Rurouni Kenshin, this one in One Piece has been any other series I've seen when it did this. Not really. No, I've seen a lot of Japanese anime, but in the case of stuff basically featuring graveyards, you probably think maybe Bleach has something like this because of the fact they were the dead all the time. No, not really. They never had an episode deal with something like that at all. Yu Hakusho? No. What about Hunter x Hunter? No. Sailor Moon? No. Just these 3 I just named. Those are the ones I've seen where it has that particular thing happen. And of course, basically, I think it's I don't know which one it is. It's the one who's one's of the 3 wives. One's the next. One's the right. That does ask him. Does he always remember? Does he think of siblings? And he says, sure, all the time. I mean, from what I can tell, the wives are trying not to be disrespectful toward him because this is basically a family grave. And I appreciate the way the anime presents it, that these 3 women are respectful toward his family tradition. So I think these 3 are very beautiful women. One of whom surprisingly looks like Inosuke. It could be that this woman, no, it's not Inosuke. It's just basically a woman who's got the same looking face than he does. I would not be surprised that she was this in a relative of his, because his face is so similar to hers. Yeah. So, and then we see another flashback of basically, oh yeah, by the way, one of the wives are the ones who sent to Lightning Stuff. I don't remember her name. Actually, her name was Hanasku, I think her name is, where he pulls a sakura petal from her hair, and then she asks for it so she can keep it. And then the other two's like, we want petals too, and they're like, pick it yourself. And she's like, you're so cruel, which I thought would be so funny. Meanwhile, though, Usuke basically is battling the male demon for quite a while. until he gets his arm chopped off. Well, basically his hand chopped off by the demon, and his poison's getting worse. That's how the episode ended. But meanwhile, there came the female demon, where they battled her for quite a while, and then all of a sudden, basically, Inosuke gets stabbed, and Zenitsu and Zenitro, where basically the Sound Hashira says, "You have my gratitude," basically for saving one of his wives. Tanjiro, I was trying to pronounce his name properly. He's basically like, "Thank you, have my gratitude," probably for saving one of his wives, which I'm sure basically any person would be very appreciative about that, especially from a bloodthirsty even like this woman is. Despite the fact this female demon is actually very beautiful. Yeah, for a demon, it's a very beautiful woman. I'm actually quite surprised that he actually doesn't say that to her. So, Inosuke basically says her attacks are lame, which I thought would be so hilarious. And of course, we see a lot of the buildings and temples are damaged by this belt attack. And that's going to be pretty much the episode in a nutshell. Just another really damn good episode, basically. You're thinking, wait, you're saying like every video is just a really good episode? Because it is. It's really good. I'm thoroughly enjoying this. And there's only 2 episodes left. And that's it. Yeah, it's quite surprising, though. The fact there's only 2 chapters left to go. Excuse me, 2 episodes left. Next week's episode is called... it's called The Never Give Up. By the way, Ninden Moment is just basically... Tanjiro just basically running through the alleyway, getting to his next thing he's supposed to do. That's literally what happens here. By the way, he's still bleeding. Yes, he is bleeding like crazy. His shoulder is still stiff. And also, he closed one of his eyes. Basically, it was covered in blood anyways. It's surprising, though, that prior to Inosuke getting stabbed, he was probably the only one who was actually... he had very little damage done to him. Out of the 4 characters, he's the one who had the least damage to him. You're probably thinking, who has the most? It probably is Tanjiro, or probably now the Sound Hashira. Yep. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this particular view. Next view is going to be One Piece. Yep. And then after that, it's going to be Case Closed and Boruto, and that'll be pretty much it for today, okay? Next video. Bye.